Had it not been for Tyrese Haliburton missing time with injury, the Pacers would have been a playing team more than likely. However, the Pacers didn't have that situation. Haliburton did miss time, and they ended up with the 7th overall pick in the 2023 NBA draft. I really like this Pacers core. They have some established future cornerstones, as well as intriguing young talent with potential, which we will be talking about in this video. But they also have a chance to land another potential key player with that 7th overall pick. While it isn't a top 3 to 5 pick that most fans want for their team to have, 7th overall is still a spot where you can get a good player, and there's one in particular that I like a lot for this Pacers team. I want to start with Tyrese Haliburton, someone who has proven me wrong at literally every turn. He proved me wrong when it comes to my draft analysis about him. He proved my thoughts about what his ceiling as a player were wrong. He proved my 3-point shooting contest prediction wrong. He's the first player in NBA history to average at least 20 points per game, 10 assists per game, and shoot at least 40% from 3. And he's only 23 years old. He's been one of the best 3-point shooters in the NBA since his rookie season. He's been one of the best passers in the NBA since his rookie season. He's shown a lot of improvement as a slasher and self-creator since entering the league, which were two real flaws in his game coming out of Iowa State. And he's the cornerstone star of this team. He made the All-Star team for a reason. He might have even gotten some All-NBA love if the Pacers finished better and he played more games. And at just 23 years old, he's not done improving, which is really saying something because he's improved so much since entering the league already. So we could be seeing another jump from him in year 4. And I'm excited to see what he does in year 4 with a full offseason to get healthy and hopefully a new draft pick to play alongside as well. There's also Bennedict Mathurin, the 6th overall pick in 2022 out of Arizona. Mathurin had an incredibly hot start to his rookie season. In fact, at times, he looked better than Paulo did early on. But eventually he cooled off and was pretty up and down for the most part in his rookie season. However, despite how up and down he was, I'm still very encouraged by what he can be as a player. One thing he has shown, regardless of how good or bad his shooting splits were in games, was his ability to draw contact. Nearly 6 free throw attempts per game as a rookie is really impressive, especially for a guard. He needs to improve his shot consistency and shot selection. That's something that almost all young guards struggle with, so it's not too big of a worry. I think when you look at rookie guards, you can't really look at the efficiency as much, especially with ones that score the basketball a lot. And the shot selection, I think with game speed reps, I think as the team gets better, he's going to learn how to play more within the offense and take better shots. But I was mostly impressed by his rookie season, despite maybe not living out that hot start he had. But he shows all the signs you want in a rookie scoring guard. He has the confidence, the skill is definitely there, the athleticism, and he's not afraid of contact either, which is important. I do think he could be a 20 plus point per game scorer in year 2. I do expect him to be a full-time starter in year 2. He came off the bench a lot in his rookie season. I don't know what that was about for the most part. I understand that maybe the offensive flow was better with him coming off the bench, but he's just too good to come off the bench long term. I think he has more potential than just being a 6th man in this league. His flaws as a player seem fixable, and the traits he has at this young of an age don't grow on trees. I'm excited to see how he grows alongside Haliburton, and he's somebody that I think has potential to be that other cornerstone star next to Haliburton. Outside of those two, I do like the other pieces on this team as well. Andrew Nembhard, their 2nd round rookie from 2022, showed incredible ability as a connecting guard that just fits within the flow of the offense, has good feel for the game, and I thought he should have made all rookie this season. Aaron Nesmith, the headliner that they got in return in the Malcolm Brogdon trade alongside that 1st round pick, looked really good in his first season, not only getting consistent minutes, but also being a majority starter. he wasn't great by any means, but when given the opportunity, he did start to show the signs that we saw from him at Vanderbilt that did make him a lottery pick. Isaiah Jackson is an intriguing, rangy shot blocker with a high motor and potential to be more than that. Chris Duarte had his ups and downs in year 2, but he was dealing with injuries. However, I think he still has promise, even if he is a bit older. So they have intriguing core pieces on the team, as well as Miles Turner, who I'm now convinced will be a Pacer for life because he survived more trade rumors than there were Titans during the rumbling. So I like the pieces outside of Haliburton and Mathurin on this team as well, but there's one player in particular I like for them a lot at pick 7. I think the Pacers should take Villanova forward Cam Whitmore at pick 7 in the draft. Whitmore is the best pure power athlete in this draft class at 6'6", 235 pounds with a 6'9" wingspan. Whitmore combines strength and vertical explosion as well as a good first step and decent quickness and speed. To see someone that's 6'6", 235 pounds at just 18 years old with these kind of physical tools and athleticism is extremely rare. He's going to be one of the youngest players in the NBA his rookie season. He has a great second jump, the best second jump I've seen from a prospect since Zion Williamson. High motor on the glass. He's an effective driver. He has potential to draw a lot of contact and almost live at the line. He's a good cutter and transition threat, great lob threat. I think he'll fit well with Tyrese Haliburton. He's far from a finished product, but he has shown encouraging flashes of shot creation and shooting upside. He was actually pretty solid as a catch and shoot player, and he has all the tools to grow as a perimeter player. Plus, I am encouraged by the fact that he's shown linear progression as a shooter over the years. He's not a great defender right now, but has all the tools and motor to grow into a really good one. From a physical and athletic perspective, he reminds me a bit of a weird hybrid between like Thad Young and Anthony Edwards. I know it's a weird combination of players, but it's kind of just how I see it. And I do see a bit of Caron Butler in this game, which is not an insult for people who don't know how good Caron Butler was. Caron Butler was an all-star in this league and an NBA champion. But I actually think the best comparison for him overall is Broly from Dragon Ball Z, because that's just, watch him play and then go watch the Broly movie from DBZ and you'll see what I'm talking about. On top of having pick 7, the Pacers also have picks 26 because of the Karis LeVert trade with Cleveland and pick 29 because of the Malcolm Brogdon trade with the Celtics. There are 6 names I want to talk about with those picks. 3 will be guys that I would be interested in potential trade-up scenarios because I do think they have the assets to move up in the draft with one or both of those picks. And 3 guys that I think will be more than likely on the board with those picks. The first name is Leonard Miller, a 6'10", 212-pound wing forward with a 7'2" wingspan from G League Ignite. He had a really good season in the G League this year, averaging nearly 17 points per game and 10 rebounds per game on 63 true shooting percentage. He has interesting creation and playmaking flashes you just don't find in a 6'10" guy. Needs to work on his three-point shot and form a little bit, but he was a decent free throw shooter in the G League this year, nearly 80% on solid volume given the G League free throw rules, but he has a ton of upside as well. You would more than likely have to trade up for him. He's projected to go in that 15 to 20 range, and he might get some lottery looks. In fact, I would consider him as early as like pick 11 or 12. I think the upside is that intriguing with him. But the Pacers do have the assets to move up if he falls to the range that I believe will be realistic for a trade up, that 16 to 20 range. And if he somehow makes it to pick 26, I think that it's easily the pick to make. There's Jalen Hood-Schifino, a 6'6" guard who played at Indiana. They probably got to see a lot of him this year, considering they're in the same state. He's a connecting guard with some scoring pop and good playmaking tools. Like with Miller, you would have to trade up for him. I think it's a bit less likely that they could trade up for Jalen Hood-Schifino than it would be for Leonard Miller, because Jalen Hood-Schifino is projected to go a bit higher than Miller. He's getting some real lottery buzz as of right now, but it is possible. Chris Murray, a 6'8" forward from Iowa, not Keegan Murray. I repeat, he is not Keegan Murray. He put up similar numbers to Keegan last season, but he's not the shooter that his twin brother is, and he wasn't as efficient as Keegan was during his last season at Iowa, but he is a really good prospect. I like his defensive tools. He's high feel, more experienced. He does have scoring tools as well, even if it's not on the level of his twin brother. You might have to trade up for him, but he might be on the board at pick 26. I don't think it's impossible to believe he could make it to pick 26, but there is a chance like you would have to trade up to like 22 or 23, which wouldn't cost as much as it would to move up to say like pick 17 for Jalen Hood-Schifino or Leonard Miller. Now, in terms of more realistic options if they don't trade up, there's Noah Clowney, a 6'10" power forward from Alabama, one of the younger prospects in the class, has some intriguing shot blocking tools, solid shooting indicators, and a really good athlete. He should be on the board when they pick, and he will be a good option at pick 26 in my opinion. G.G. Jackson, a 6'8", 215-pound forward from South Carolina, the youngest player in the draft, but also the most hard evaluation for me to go through this year. He flashes unreal shot creating tools at his height and age, but he doesn't so much outside of that, and even then, he's very inconsistent. There were moments where you watched him play against Alabama, and he looked better than Brandon Miller did. But there were also moments where you watched him play and you wondered if this was even a draftable prospect. These are the two extremes we're dealing with. We have the extreme of not being a draftable prospect and the extreme of playing better in moments than a projected top 3 to 4 pick. I do understand that he's super young, and that's a part of it, and I do think he'll get better with time, and I do think if he stayed in high school and then was a part of the next draft class, we might be talking about him a bit differently. He was the number 1 player in his recruiting class before he was classified up, but you do have to base your evaluation off of what you actually see on tape, and it's hard for me to project a lower usage role for him at the next level, because what he did at South Carolina, that's not what's going to be his role in the NBA more than likely. He's not going to get a lot of freedom in the NBA, where he was allowed to play through all of his mistakes at South Carolina. So that's why, even though he has a ton of talent, and he shows these flashes of high-end potential, it's why he's projected, probably to go in the 20s instead of like the lottery or top 10, where if you just watch his highlights, you would think this is a top 10 pick, like maybe even top 5 pick, but you watch the tape and it's all over the place. However, I do think his talent at that young of an age is more than worth a swing at pick 29 in this draft. And then there's Colby Jones, a 6'5" guard from Xavier. He can play out the ball, connecting passing roles, plays within the flow of the offense really well, high feel, experience, just knows how to play within the flow of an offense and play well with others. He's a high floor player that I think can contribute right away, and he will be a good pick at either 26 or 29. He's the player I like for them the most. The Pacers are building something special. In some ways, they remind me a bit of the Magic, established franchise cornerstones of the future, intriguing pieces around them, being better than the record suggests that they were, and draft assets to build for the future. Now, the difference is the Magic cornerstones are higher upside 6'10" wing forwards that can create offense for themselves and others, which is terrifying, while the Pacers' future cornerstones are more traditional sized players for their positions. But the Pacers have a bright future, even if I don't think it's quite on the level of the Magic. That speaks more to the Magic than it does the Pacers. A core of Haliburton, Mathurin, potentially a player like Cam Whitmore, and more pieces to build around that core in the late first round is a good foundation to start with. I can't wait to see what this Pacers team does next season, because I think they're going to be a potential play-in team next season and in the future. They finally seem to have a clear direction for the first time since Paul George was on the team. They have a chance to build a team that can be contenders for years to come, and I hope they do, because that means there's more great basketball teams out there. But that's the end of this video. If you made it to this point, thank you so much. Again, haven't already, like, subscribe, hit notification bell, I'm notified whenever I release a video. I'm making videos about basketball all the time, so if that interests you, I really think you enjoy this channel. And liking and subscribing are the two best ways you can help me out. Helps me out in the YouTube algorithm so more people find my videos, so in turn, helps the channel grow so I can make more content for you guys in the future. Let's try to get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend to others. I think that's a fair goal. Also, just thank you for the support on the channel recently. Ever since I started the series breaking down what I think these lottery teams should do in the draft and how they would fit with the young core, I really think that you guys have been showing the most support like ever. And I'm really appreciative of that, especially considering these are a lot longer videos than the breakdown videos that I do on the channel. So the fact that you guys are enjoying them and showing this amount of support means a lot to me. This is by far the best stretch of videos I've ever had on YouTube. So thank you guys for that. Let me know what you think about the Pacers in the comments section below as well. What do you think about Haliburton and Mathurin? The other pieces like Demhard, Naismith, Isaiah Jackson, Miles Turner, and what's his name, Chris Duarte. So let me do all that in the comment section below. But with that being said, have a nice day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.